Okay, it's time for more Shannon Reads Those Books with Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. Alrighty, let's hope that doesn't fall down. Okay, this is my 32nd book of the Those Books adventure, and it was written in 1908, is the first of several books. I have that it's 8 plus supplementary works, because there were some that seemed too recent to be part of this actual collection. And this one makes the Those Books list for so many reasons. It is on 4 of the 5 lists, all but the Modern Library. So it's on the 25 classic Canadian novels list. It is on the Book Riot 0 to Well Read list. It is number 41 on the BBC Big Read. That's really high. And it's 59th of the Librarians list. So everybody seems to love this book. Everybody but me. I didn't hate it. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. And this one is a bit painful to talk about, to be honest. I actually picked it up because it was at the library. It's Canadian. Hadn't read a Canadian book in a while. It was right there. I'm like, come home with me. And, you know, here we are. If you're unfamiliar with Anne of Green Gables, which feels so strange, but it's always possible. It follows the story of Anne, who is an orphan. It's set on Prince Edward Island in Canada, which is our smallest province, and it is sort of pioneering. I think it's a little post-pioneering, and she is taken in by a brother and sister who raise her, and she is a very creative spirit and thinks a lot and is very vocal, and just oh my gosh, she has such an amazing vocabulary, and to get a sense of the things that she sees in the world and how she engages with the world is really such a joy, because she is such a creative spirit. But I had challenges with this one for several reasons. I feel like at some point it really sort of tries to quell her creativity, and it can be very kind of conformist in that sense, as well as also conformist in other sense, which is where it sort of, me and the book don't seem to agree. There is a lot lovely in here. I love Anne as a character. But I just feel like she's such a free spirit, and so I feel like they keep on trying to make her do the right thing, and the correct thing, especially of the time and for women and girls and those kinds of things. And again, it was written in 1908, but it still feels kind of bothersome. But she is very forthright, and I think she does persevere through a lot of the challenges, and I do think her family is supportive, but they are very reserved and don't anticipate they don't anticipate getting a girl, as when they want to adopt someone, they want a boy so he can help out on the farm, and she is nothing like what they expect, but still brings a lot of joy to their life. So there is a lot of warmth in this book, and and there is this sort of distanced kind of thing, which feels a bit Canadian, in a weird way, a little older school Canadian than now. So yeah, I really wanted to enjoy it, and there certainly were a lot of parts that I did enjoy. Obviously, Anne. I really enjoy the character of Matthew a lot, and I did like Matthew's sister, who I'm blanking on her name. Gosh, it's another M. It is another Marilla. And although she's more the stickler, like, you have to do this, you can't do that, you stop talking all this nonsense and come here and do your homework. Or not even, you don't have to tell Anne to do her homework. She's going to do her own homework, and there's a big rivalry between her and Gilbert, which is a boy in the class, and they both are always trying to get first place and stuff, but they don't get along, and it's sort of like a long-term kind of thing with them. And I did like where they went with that. And one of the strangest things about reading this book is being so familiar with the story and the world without having read it, because if you're Canadian, you've probably seen one of the versions of the story, be it the miniseries or I think there were TV movies, and then there's also Road to Avonlea. So there's lots, and there's a current series which I haven't watched that's on CBC right now, and then there are TV movies as well that are there's one and there's going to be two more or two of three. There's going to be three total. So there's lots of Anne of Green Gables out there. So and there is so many things that are really touching about the story. But for me, it's the conformist thing that really came back to it that really bothered me. She felt badly or corrected herself if she wanted to look different than what she was or placed any value on appearance and not that and she certainly wasn't vain or anything, but it was just like that's not what's important, so not allowed to think about that. And it also was conservative in terms of political leanings directly, and this is before women could vote, so I had some problems with, so it was a bit but I feel like it's very clear that, and it really bothered me that she sort of was okay to adopt being a conservative without really thinking about it too much. She has a conversation with Matthew about it, and she's just sort of goes like, well, if that's what you think, that's what I think too, kind of. And I'm like, no, I don't think I don't think Anne would be like that. And that really bothered me. And I'm talking conservative in terms of political parties here in Canada. There's Conservative, Liberal, and now the NDP, as well as Independents. I don't think there was NDP when this was out. It was just the Conservatives and the Grits, which are the Liberals. So that bothered me. And it is also Christian. And that I felt like if you're Christian and you're conservative, you'd love this book. But I didn't feel like super inclusive if you're not of the same leaning. So I'm really surprised to find myself feeling like I actually wish I hadn't read it. Like I don't regret it like in a deep-hearted, I feel wounded way, but I think it just may have been nicer not to read it and therefore feel excluded or have like any negative connotations, because in a lot of ways it is such a great story. Female protagonist, she is adventurous, she is a thinker, she is smart, she knows what she wants to do, she's a free spirit, she's a creative person. These are all really extraordinary, wonderful things. I just wish some of the framework felt less excluding. So yeah, so in a lot of ways it wasn't what I expected, even though all of the big landmarks in terms of the story and the characters, I could see them, I remember them from the show. Okay, memory card got full. Anyway, I don't have too much more to say about this one, except for the fact that I really wish that I had enjoyed it a bit more. It's one of those ones that I think I didn't used to have. There was at some point I remember very specifically, I remember watching a film and understanding how it was really directly talking to its audience who had a similar values set. And I was not someone who had the same values. Like it was very direct. And then later, I had watched another film and recognized that film was speaking directly to me because I had the same values. And I think that that's one of the things that I feel I'm having the experience of when I read Anne of Green Gables, is that, oh, this isn't speaking to me. I wish it was speaking to me because there's so much about it I enjoy, but it's not actually speaking to me. And now I feel more conflicted because there's so much that I want to like about it, but now I'm feeling like I don't want to like about it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of one of those weird, I don't know, and I don't think that you have to and only do enjoy or engage with things where you agree with the values. I'm not making a case for that. I'm just saying that when it's so close, when it's like 90%, you feel like, oh yeah, I agree, and then you're like, but not about that. Not about that. So it was so it's kind of painful. It's kind of painful. So I think it's probably clear that I'm probably not going to continue to read the series, which is fine. And I think, and I think and also I feel like I had the reverse experience for me of this book was reading The Secret Garden last year, because it was one where when I started reading it, I was like, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. And as time went on, I loved it. I felt like it was speaking to me. I felt like, yes, I'm agreeing with you. This is the right thing. I believe in this. And with Anne of Green Gables, it was the reverse. I started out feeling that way. I really felt like I was agreeing with things and enjoying things and rooting for the character. I still always rooted for Anne. I'm always going to root for Anne. I'm rooting for Anne. I'm an Anne supporter. But as it went on, I was like, but I don't agree about that. I don't like how that's being handled, and I don't think that would be what Anne would do, and I don't think. And so it was the reverse. As time went on, I didn't agree with more and more things as it went on. So overall, and it just, it feels like, for me, it feels so very clear that it's sort of like, if the value set is something that you're in line with, you're gonna love the book. For me, wasn't really the case, so I didn't end up loving the book. So, and it's not to say it's not a good book or anything like that, although it did, because I think she's such a great character, and I think that in and of itself has tons of value and can bring inspiration and to so many people, especially girls. And so for that, I think there's something really, really powerful in there. So anyway, Anne of Green Gables, sadly, did not end up loving it, but I did end up reading it. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts on it, and I'm very curious to hear what other people think, and especially since it's such a beloved book, so I'm kind of like, I almost didn't want to review it, but I feel pretty clear in how I feel about it, so felt like it was definitely worth reviewing. So there you go. On to the next. The next is The Witches. Oh, that's probably not going to be any better. Okay, see you next time.